What are your life goals? Are you in search of a better life? This is a question that resonates with many of us. We're all on a quest for a fulfilling, balanced existence, aren't we? But what if I told you there's an ancient philosophy that could guide you towards that better life? Welcome to our deep dive into the world of Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy that's as relevant today as it was over 2,000 years ago. Welcome to Reflective Rise, your window to timeless wisdom. If you haven't already, please click on that subscribe button to stay connected and get all the future wisdom we will share. Now, let's dive in. Stoicism, my friends, is not just a set of abstract ideas. Rather, it's a practical philosophy, a way of life that can lead to personal growth, inner peace, and a deeper understanding of the world. So what does it teach us? It offers us a set of tenets, or rules if you will, that can guide us toward a life of virtue, tranquility, and wisdom. In this video, we're going to explore 10 fundamental Stoic rules that can help guide your path to a better life. These rules aren't just theoretical principles, they're practical, actionable guidelines that can be incorporated into your daily life. We'll start with understanding what is within your control and learning to focus your energy on those things rather than fretting over what's beyond your grasp. Then we'll delve into the importance of pursuing virtue above all else, making moral excellence your primary goal in life. We'll explore the concept of accepting the present moment, embracing what is, rather than wishing for what could be. We'll also touch upon the practice of negative visualization, a method for appreciating what you have by contemplating its loss. We'll discuss the importance of acting according to reason, not letting impulsive emotions dictate your actions. We'll emphasize the value of continuous learning and seeking wisdom, and the importance of cultivating inner tranquility amidst external chaos. We'll also look into the practice of dispassion, a technique for freeing yourself from the chains of desire and aversion, not to forget the significance of reflecting on your actions and learning from your experiences. And finally, we'll talk about embracing mortality, accepting the impermanent nature of life and thus living each moment to its fullest. Ready to embark on this journey towards a better life? Let's dive into the first rule. The first Stoic rule is understanding what is within your control. This principle is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, which encourages us to draw a clear line between what we can change and what we cannot. Indeed, it provides a roadmap for navigating life with serenity and resilience. Consider this. Every day we are bombarded with situations and events that are beyond our control. The weather, the traffic, the opinions of others, the global economy, the list is endless. Yet how often do we expend our energy, our peace of mind, trying to control these uncontrollable aspects? Quite often, isn't it? The Stoics understood this. They taught that we should focus our energies where they count, on the things within our control. And what are these things? Our thoughts, our actions, and our emotions. These are the realms where we hold the power. We decide how to perceive situations, how to respond to them, and how to feel about them. Let's take an example. Imagine you're stuck in a traffic jam. You can't control the traffic, but you can control your reaction to it. You can choose to fume and fret, or you can choose to accept the situation and use the time to listen to an audiobook or enjoy some music. The traffic remains the same, but your experience of it changes dramatically. This doesn't mean we give up on influencing the world around us. No, not at all. It means we understand where our agency lies and where it doesn't. We can strive to make a difference where we can, but we should also accept that there are things beyond our reach. This understanding frees us from needless worry, frustration, and stress. It helps us to conserve our energy for what truly matters, for acting with wisdom, courage, and integrity, for cultivating inner tranquility, for pursuing virtue, as the Stoics would say. It's a simple rule, yet it's transformative when applied. It's a shift in perspective that can bring about profound peace and resilience. So remember, by focusing on what you can control, you can save your energy and find peace in acceptance. The second rule is pursuing virtue above all. In the grand theatre of life, virtue is the lead role. It's not a supporting character, not a cameo, but the star of the show. The Stoics believed that moral excellence was the highest form of success, a beacon in the storm of life's uncertainties. But what does it mean to pursue virtue above all else? Imagine a compass. No matter where you go, it always points north. In the same way, virtue is our moral compass, always guiding us towards wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These four cardinal virtues of Stoicism are not just lofty concepts, they're practical tools that we can implement in our daily lives. Wisdom is the ability to make the right decisions, to choose the path that leads to virtue. It's the insight to recognize the difference between good and evil, and the understanding that the only true good is virtue itself. Courage is not just physical bravery, but moral courage. It's the strength to stand up for what is right, even when it's difficult. It's the tenacity to stay true to your virtues, even when faced with adversity. Justice is the commitment to fairness and equality. It's the resolve to treat others with respect and dignity, to honor the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Temperance, the final cardinal virtue, is the practice of self-restraint. It's the discipline to control our desires and emotions, to find a balance between excess and deficiency. Incorporating these virtues into our lives is not a one-time event, but a lifelong journey. It's a path that we walk every day, with each step bringing us closer to moral excellence. And while this path may not always be easy, it is always rewarding. So let's strive to make virtue our primary goal. Let's aim to act with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance in all things. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what we have, but who we are. Remember, virtue is the highest good in Stoic philosophy. Rule number 3, accept the present moment. Dive into the heart of Stoicism, and you'll find a profound appreciation for the present moment. It's an understanding that everything unfolds according to the natural order of the universe. Each moment as it arrives is precisely as it should be, and it's our task to embrace it, whether it's filled with joy, sorrow, confusion, or clarity. Consider a river. It flows ceaselessly, always moving, always changing. Just like the river, life too is in a constant state of flux. The present moment is a drop of water in that river, here for an instant, then whisked away in the current. Stoicism encourages us to be like the river, accepting each moment as it comes, and then letting it go. Often we find ourselves caught in the grip of past regrets or future anxieties. We're either haunted by what has been, or we're fretting over what might be. But the past is a ghost, and the future is a dream. The only reality we truly inhabit is the present. The Stoics understood this. They recognized that the present moment, no matter how fleeting, is all we truly have. So, they encouraged us to live it fully, to accept it without complaint or desire for something different. This doesn't mean we should abandon planning for the future or learning from the past. It simply means we should not let these things steal our attention from the present. It's about understanding that the present moment is not an obstacle to be overcome, but a reality to be embraced. So how can we practice this? Start by becoming aware of your thoughts. Notice when your mind veers towards the past or future, and gently steer it back to the now. Ground yourself in the reality of the present. Feel the weight of your body, the rhythm of your breath, the sensations around you. This is where life happens. This is where you truly exist. The present moment, no matter what it brings, is all we truly have. Embrace it. Next up, rule number 4, practice negative visualization. Now, don't be put off by the term. It's not as pessimistic as it sounds. Instead, it's an incredibly powerful tool that can help us appreciate what we have and prepare for potential setbacks. Negative visualization is a mental exercise that involves contemplating the loss of things you value. Imagine for a moment losing your job or a loved one, or even something as simple as your ability to see or hear. Quite discomforting, isn't it? But that's the point. This practice isn't about dwelling on doom and gloom, but rather about helping you appreciate what you have right now. When we take our blessings for granted, we risk becoming complacent and ungrateful. However, by regularly visualizing the absence of these blessings, we can cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for them. We learn to appreciate the simple pleasures of life, the people we love, our health, our abilities, and even our possessions. But it's not just about appreciation. Negative visualization also prepares us for potential setbacks. Life, as we know, is unpredictable. Misfortunes can strike at any time, and they often do when we least expect them. By mentally rehearsing these scenarios, we equip ourselves to handle them if they ever come to pass. We become resilient, able to bounce back from adversity because we've already mentally prepared for it. Think of it as a fire drill for your mind. Just as a fire drill prepares you for a potential fire, negative visualization prepares you for life's inevitable ups and downs. It's a form of mental conditioning that the Stoics believed could help us remain steady and composed, no matter what life throws at us. Remember, the aim is not to become fixated on negative outcomes, but to use them as a tool for fostering gratitude and resilience. It's about realizing that no matter how bad things get, we still have much to be thankful for. And that, my friends, is the beauty of negative visualization. By imagining the worst, we learn to appreciate the present. Rule number 5, act according to reason. This rule is a call to let logic and reason be the compass that guides our actions. But why is it so important? Well, we live in a world that often encourages us to act on impulse, to follow our desires without much thought. But Stoicism encourages us to take a step back, to think before we act. Imagine a situation where someone has wronged you. The immediate reaction might be anger, a desire for revenge. But if we were to act according to reason, we would understand that such a response is not only unproductive, but can also lead to more harm than good. Reason tells us that it's better to address the issue calmly, to seek understanding rather than retaliation. Acting according to reason also means understanding our limitations. We cannot control everything, but we can control how we respond. When faced with adversity, reason guides us to respond with resilience, to learn from the experience rather than wallowing in self-pity. But how can one cultivate a habit of acting according to reason? It begins by acknowledging that our emotions, while important, are not always the best guides. Emotions are transient. They can be influenced by external factors and can sometimes cloud our judgment. Reason, on the other hand, is impartial. It allows us to see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. It's also important to understand that acting according to reason doesn't mean suppressing our emotions. It means acknowledging them, understanding them, but not letting them dictate our actions. We can feel anger, but we don't have to act on it. We can feel desire, but we don't have to be enslaved by it. In essence, to act according to reason is to act with purpose. It's about making decisions that align with our values, our goals, and what we believe is right. It's about being intentional with our actions, not just reacting to whatever comes our way. So next time you're faced with a decision, pause. Take a moment to think, to reason. Ask yourself, is this the best course of action? Does it align with my values? Will it contribute to my growth? Remember, reason, not impulse, should guide our actions. Moving on to rule number 6, seek wisdom through continuous learning. In the tapestry of life, every thread of experience, every knot of challenge, every color of triumph weaves into the grand design of wisdom. In the Stoics' lexicon, wisdom is not merely an accumulation of facts. It is a deep understanding of life, a refined perspective, a guiding light that illuminates the path of virtue. But how does one acquire this wisdom? Through the noble pursuit of continuous learning. A true Stoic believes in being a lifelong student. He doesn't see learning as a chore or a phase of life that expires with formal education. Instead, he embraces it as a constant companion. Learning, in the Stoics' view, is not confined to books alone. It encompasses experiences, it involves learning from the wise, and it requires an open mind that is ready to absorb, analyze, and internalize. Every conversation, every observation, every trial, every triumph, every setback, they all hold lessons. A Stoic knows this and is always ready to learn from them. Knowledge and understanding are lifelong pursuits. They are not destinations to be reached, but a journey to be savored. The more we learn, the more we realize how little we know. This humility in the face of the vast expanse of knowledge is a hallmark of a true Stoic. Seeking wisdom through continuous learning also means being open to change. It means being willing to question our beliefs, to challenge our assumptions, to discard what no longer serves us, and to embrace new ideas that elevate us. It means evolving, growing, maturing with every passing day. In this quest for wisdom, remember to be patient. Wisdom is not a fruit that ripens overnight. It grows slowly, sweetening with time, nourished by the rich soil of experience, watered by the rains of challenges, and ripened by the sun of understanding. The path to wisdom is not a sprint, but a marathon. It's not about racing to the finish line, but about enjoying the journey, about becoming a little wiser, a little kinder, a little better with each passing day. Never stop learning, for wisdom is the fruit of a well-lived life. Rule number 7, cultivate inner tranquility. Let's delve into the depths of this profound principle. The world around us is in constant flux, a swirling maelstrom of circumstances, events, and opinions. Yet within this chaos, it's possible to find a serene refuge, a haven of tranquility. How, you may ask? The key lies in understanding that tranquility is not something you find, but rather something you create within yourself. It's about creating an inner sanctuary impervious to the tumult of the external world. It's about not being overly affected by external events or the opinions of others. Visualize your mind as a serene lake. External events and opinions are like stones thrown into this lake. If you allow them to disturb you, they create ripples that disrupt your peace. But if you remain detached, if you let the stones of circumstance sink without a splash, your lake remains serene. This does not mean becoming indifferent or uncaring. Rather, it's about understanding the difference between what you can control and what you can't. You can't control the actions of others or the events of the world, but you can control your reactions to them. You can choose not to let them disturb your inner peace. Tranquility is also about letting go of the need for approval. So often, we allow our peace to be disrupted by the opinions of others. We become agitated when they disapprove, or elated when they approve. But when we cultivate inner tranquility, we understand that our worth is not determined by the opinions of others, but by our own actions and values. In the end, cultivating inner tranquility is about finding that peaceful center within ourselves, that core of serenity that remains undisturbed no matter what storms may rage around us. It's about understanding that our peace comes not from the world outside, but from the world within. By cultivating inner tranquility, we find peace within ourselves, regardless of external circumstances. This is the power of Stoicism and the power that you hold within you. Next, rule number 8, practice dispassion. Let's delve into the crux of this thought-provoking concept. Stoicism teaches us that our desires and aversions are often the very chains that bind us, leading us astray from the path of tranquility and wisdom. Picture this: the compulsive shopper, the food addict, the thrill seeker. They all share a common trait. They are slaves to their desires, allowing their cravings to dictate their actions. On the flip side, consider those who live in constant fear, who avoid certain situations or people, who are paralyzed by their anxieties. They are controlled by their aversions, their lives dictated by what they seek to avoid. Stoicism invites us to break free from these chains. It beckons us to practice dispassion, a state where desires and aversions are recognized, but not allowed to take the reins of our actions. It's not about suppressing or ignoring these feelings. Rather, it's about acknowledging them, understanding their nature, and then choosing to act not out of impulse, but out of reason and virtue. Imagine the freedom this brings. No longer driven by impulsive desires or irrational fears, we become masters of our own actions. We gain the ability to choose our path rather than being swept along by the current of our fleeting feelings. Practicing dispassion doesn't mean we become emotionless robots. Instead, it allows us to experience our emotions fully without letting them control us. We can enjoy a delicious meal without becoming gluttons. We can appreciate a beautiful sunset without craving its permanence. We can face our fears without letting them paralyze us. In essence, practicing dispassion is about cultivating resilience and inner calm. It's about achieving a state where we are not easily swayed by external circumstances, where we can maintain our tranquility even in the face of adversity. So the next time you feel the pull of desire or the push of aversion, remember this Stoic rule. Recognize your desires and aversions, but do not let them control you. Rule number 9, reflect on your actions. In the bustling whirlwind of life, we often find ourselves caught up in the moment, reacting impulsively rather than thoughtfully. But Stoicism invites us to pause, to step back and reflect on our actions, our thoughts and our words. This isn't about guilt or regret, but about understanding and growth. Imagine your day as a vibrant canvas, your actions as strokes of color. At the end of the day, take a step back. Look at the picture you've painted with your actions. Are there areas splashed with the vibrant colors of virtue? Perhaps a dash of wisdom here, a stroke of courage there? Or are there patches where the colors of impatience, anger or fear have bled into the canvas? Reflection is not about self-flagellation or wallowing in guilt. It's about identifying these areas, recognizing where you acted virtuously and where you fell short. It's about understanding the reasons behind your actions. Was it a reaction to an external event, or was it guided by your inner values? Reflection also allows us to learn from our experiences. Every action, every thought, every word is a lesson waiting to be learned. By reflecting on our day, we open the door to this classroom of life. We become students eager to learn, ready to grow. Stoicism teaches us that personal growth is a continuous journey, not a destination. And reflection is the compass that guides us on this journey. It points out the direction we're heading in and helps us course correct if needed. It shows us where we've been, where we are, and where we need to go. Remember, each day is a new chapter in the book of your life, each action a sentence, each thought a word. And reflection is the process of reading this chapter, understanding it, and preparing for the next. It's the process of becoming the author of your life, rather than just a character in it. So, as the sun sets on each day, take a moment. Reflect on your actions, your thoughts, your words. Learn from them. Grow from them. And remember, as the Stoics taught us, reflection is the key to understanding and bettering oneself. Finally, rule number 10. Embrace mortality. This rule, though it may seem morbid at first, is not meant to instill fear or sadness. On the contrary, it's a powerful tool that can bring about a profound appreciation for life and the moments we are given. The Stoics believed in the impermanence of everything, including life itself. They saw the value in regularly reminding themselves of their mortality, not as a source of dread, but as a method of cherishing each moment. This practice is known as memento mori, a Latin phrase meaning remember you must die. By contemplating mortality, we are given a unique perspective. It allows us to see the fleeting nature of all things and in turn helps us value each moment more deeply. It reminds us that every sunrise, every laugh, every shared meal, every heartfelt conversation is a precious gift not to be taken for granted. This contemplation also inspires action. When we understand that our time is limited, we are driven to live fully and passionately. It pushes us to seize opportunities, to express our feelings, to apologize when we're wrong, and to forgive easily. It encourages us not to waste time on trivial matters or hold on to petty grudges. In addition, embracing mortality can provide a sense of tranquility. It reminds us that we are part of a larger cycle, a vast and beautiful mechanism of life and death, beginnings and endings. It teaches us to accept the inevitable with grace and serenity. Moreover, understanding our mortality can also help us in dealing with loss. It can provide solace during difficult times, reminding us that loss is a part of life, a natural process, something we all share. So while the thought of mortality might initially cause discomfort, when contemplated in a Stoic manner, it can be a source of wisdom, tranquility and appreciation for life. It can help us live a more meaningful and fulfilling life, a life filled with gratitude and presence. By embracing mortality, we learn to truly live. We've journeyed through the 10 Stoic rules for a better life. These principles, rooted in ancient wisdom, offer a compass to navigate the complexities and challenges of our modern world. We began by understanding what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and emotions, while accepting those things beyond our reach. This rule encourages us to harness our energy effectively and live with acceptance. We then explored the pursuit of virtue above all, a call to infuse our actions with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. This rule challenges us to live with moral excellence as our guiding principle. We acknowledge the importance of accepting the present moment, embracing life as it unfolds, according to the natural order of the universe. This rule teaches us to live in harmony with the now, free from complaint or yearning. The practice of negative visualization reminded us to contemplate the potential loss of what we value, fostering gratitude and resilience. This rule guides us to appreciate what we have and prepare for life's inevitable setbacks. We reflected on the importance of acting according to reason, allowing logic and purpose to steer our actions rather than impulsive emotions. This rule directs us towards meaningful and deliberate living. The quest for wisdom through continuous learning reminded us of the value of perpetual growth and knowledge. This rule inspires a lifelong commitment to learning from books, experiences, and wise individuals. The cultivation of inner tranquility, a state of calm, unaffected by external events or opinions, was our next stop. This rule encourages us to find peace within ourselves by focusing on our actions and reactions. We delved into the practice of dispassion, learning to recognize our desires and aversions without letting them govern our actions. This rule helps us attain inner calm and resilience. We learned the value of reflecting on our actions, thoughts, and words, recognizing our virtues and shortcomings. This rule urges us to strive for improvement every day. Finally, we embraced mortality, accepting life's impermanent nature. This rule prompts us to value each moment, act with urgency, and not take things for granted. Remember, the journey to a better life starts from within. May these Stoic rules guide you on your path. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to stay connected with us and get more wisdom like this in the future.